Salutation and greeting to everyone who are joining us today. Welcome to all students, teachers, parents, also not forgetting all UMS students and UMS staff present in this session today. Thank you, and we meet again for today's session of STEM Speaker Series. For those who are joining for the first time, today's STEM Speaker Series is a co-joint effort with the Institute for Tropical Biology and Conservation. The aim of programs such as this is to deliver unique and interesting STEM topics designed and presented by subject matter experts to increase the interest in the community to venture to the fields of STEM. For any question from the audience, please feel free to drop your questions on the chat box at the right side. Your question will be answered after the presentation. Please be informed that for today's session, a certificate will be given, but you must fill in the form through a QR code which will be shared at the end of the program today. So please be aware. With us today is a distinguished academician from the Institute for Tropical Biology and Conservation, UMS, Dr. Fiffy Hanisdah binti Saikim. Dr. Fiffy Hanisdah is a lecturer and enthusiast researcher at University of Malaysia Sabah. She holds a bachelor degree in Science and Aquatic Resource Management from University Sarawak, Malaysia, UNIMAS, a Master in Nature Tourism from University of Malaysia Sabah, and a PhD in Tourism from James Cook University at Northern Queensland, Australia. Dr. Fifi Hanisdah has been involved and credited in several research involving a wide range of sectors, from the palm oil sector to the tourism sector. Some of her accomplishments are being appointed as co-researcher for kehadiran Global Research Network, being appointed as Executive Secretary of Asian International Mobility for Students, winning third place at the Enactus World Championship in London. So without further ado, please welcome our esteemed speaker, Dr. Fifi Hanisdah, with the topic Fifi Crawlies Adventure.
Thank you very much. The moderator for today. Hi, how are you? Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone have a great afternoon after lunch. I hope you're not getting sleepy. For today, I would like to share with everyone a very interesting topic that is kata orang jarang orang nak bercakap berkenaan dengan dia. Sebab why? Because people are really skeptical about insects. Okay, dia macam ada macam-macam perasaan bila kita cakap pasal creepy crawlies. So when we talk about creepy crawlies, it's actually about insects, and then it's actually about the bugs, arthropods. So things that sometimes people macam-macam perasaan. Ada yang suka, ada yang kata orang geli-geli, ada yang takut, begitu. So there's a lot of kata orang pelbagai perasaan sehingga kan dia jarang, jarang untuk orang mahu menyelami lebih dalam tentang creepy crawlies adventures atau I talk it about entomological ecotourism. Okay, saya berikan satu nama khas untuk creepy crawlies adventures ni, iaitu entomological ecotourism, sebab dia lebih kata orang lebih ke arah entomology, whereas when we talk about ecotourism, nature tourism ni, we want to convey education messages and awareness to the community. So let me start my presentations. So our today's talks will include about the history of entomological ecotourism. How does this creepy crawlies getting attentions from the wide spectrum of people? Okay, and then we talk about tourist preferences, apa yang pelancong suka tengok, apa yang kita suka tengok, apa yang kanak-kanak suka tengok apabila mereka diberi peluang untuk mengikuti entomological ecotourism ini. And then last but not least, we will talk about charismatic insects. Okay, dengan dalam creepy crawlies ni, bila kita define creepy crawlies, dia include bugs, they include all these eight-legged arthropods semua. But for today's talks, I will only concentrate on charismatic insects yang six-legged saja, yang 6 kaki sahaja. Sebab kalau kita nak talk about yang 8 kaki, yang beribu-ribu kaki tu, saya rasa sampai minggu depan pun belum habis kita punya lecture ni. For information, serangga ini sangat banyak dan ada kata orang banyak lagi tempat-tempat yang masih belum diterokai, yang kata orang banyak lagi serangga yang masih tersedia di situ yang belum diterokai. Okay, now let's look into the definitions of entomological ecotourism. What is all about this creepy crawlies adventures? For your information, there's no commonly agreed definition. Tak ada. Kalau kita cakap pasal ecotourism, pelancongan eco tu kan, ataupun nature tourism, wildlife tourism, whatever tourism, dia ada dia punya definisi. Tapi for the sake of entomological ecotourism ni, dia belum ada lagi definisi yang kata orang kita semua agree upon. Okay? Tapi kita percaya bahawa entomological ecotourism ini adalah suatu aktiviti pelancongan yang melibatkan pengajaran, kita punya adventure, melihat serangga di dalam habitat asalnya. So that is, kata orang, bolehlah dikatakan sebagai satu agreed definisi lah. Okay, so entomological ecotourism ni dia receive scant to no attention in scientific or historical writing. Tak ada. Tak pernah wujud pun. Kalau ecotourism, nature tourism, dia wujud lagi dalam mana-mana buku. Menyatakan bahawa definisi dia sekian, bila dia mula. Okay, tidak. Kalau entomological ecotourism ini, dia kata orang secara tak sengaja, indirectly. Okay, so dia evolve sebenarnya from the humble beginning as a means to collect insects. Dia bermula dengan hanya, kata orang, kita punya passion. Okay, entomologis terutamanya, dia punya passion untuk collect serangga. Bila dia collect serangga itu, secara tidak langsung dia telah mewujudkan pelancongan itu. Okay, so today it is described as nature-based tourism that combines insect education in order to benefit the ecosystem and the local people. So untuk hari ini, pada hari ini, dia sebenarnya adalah satu kombinasi. Okay, dia tak boleh stand alone sebagai satu package pelancongan tersendiri buat masa ini. Okay, hanya kawasan-kawasan tertentu, hanya untuk spesies tertentu sahaja yang dia boleh stand alone as it is. Contohnya seperti fireflies, monarch butterflies, itu dia boleh stand alone because dia dalam satu populasi yang besar. Okay, dan it's easily be seen. Reliability sighting dia sangat tinggi. Tapi in terms of other insects group, dia sangat susah. Therefore, dia selalunya dalam today punya pelancongan, dia dijadikan sebagai satu aktiviti sampingan dalam ekopelancongan tersebut. Okay, now let's look into the history of entomological ecotourism. Seperti yang saya katakan tadi, dia sebenarnya embedded. Okay, embedded dalam history. Kita tak ada macam ecotourism, macam mana pelancongan mula dibuat ecotourism apa semua, itu ada history dia. Tapi entomological ecotourism ni tidak ada. Dia secara tidak langsung. Dimulakan oleh Thomas Moffat dan Ulysse Aldovandi pada tahun 1600s, di mana mereka first published the first complete work on insects. Okay, dia collect insects, tapi cara Thomas Moffat dan Ulysse Aldovandi ni, cara dia collect insects pada waktu itu adalah melalui traders. Maksud dia tak masuk hutan, dia tunggu dekat jetty and then datang orang bawa dia punya collection kan, so mereka beli dan mereka identify. And then selepas dia buat full identification, then dia publish books of insects. And from that book, dia trigger a lot of interest among the community pada waktu itu. And then Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace pula pada tahun 1700, because of dia punya scientific expedition, because of the love of research, of the love of natural resources, mereka telah buat satu scientific expedition. Okay, so secara tidak langsung apabila Charles Darwin dan juga Alfred Russel Wallace dia mula buat scientific expedition pergi keluar daripada dia punya negara, pergi ke satu tempat yang tidak diketahui di mana, buat scientific expedition, secara tidak langsung perkataan ekoturis muncul pada waktu itu. Pada waktu itulah kita kenal bahawa okey, wujudnya pelancong tapi dalam dia menyamar sebagai saintis lah pada waktu itu, Charles Darwin, Alfred Russel Wallace kan pada waktu itu. So dia orang keluar buat scientific expedition to collect all this, to document all this beautiful biodiversity, and this includes insects. Okay? And then selepas itu, between 1720 dan 1742, the first entomological society was founded. Because of the love of insects, kan, all these people, all this group of entomologists, they come up with a society, satu persatuan yang dipanggil the Society of Aurelians. Aurelians ni dia ambil nama dari dari butterfly. Okay, collecting became increasingly inclusive and sociable. Sociable maksud dia bukan setakat buat scientific expedition, bukan hanya setakat macam kata orang berjumpa dan educate each other about insects collection masing-masing. Dia become jadi sesuatu yang sociable, di mana mereka berkumpul dalam satu tempat, contohnya dalam saya lupa sudah apa nama tempat ni, tapi di satu tea house begitu dekat Britain ke pada waktu itu. Mereka berkumpul di situ sambil minum teh, sambil makan scone, itu diorang berbincang tentang koleksi-koleksi masing-masing, dan start daripada situlah society mula bersosial. Okay, bersosial dan berkongsi-kongsi maklumat berkenaan dengan insects, dan dari situlah the words because when we talk about ecotourism, we talk about sociable, okay, bersosial. Okay, and then 1800 pula, the Berkshire Naturalist Club was founded in 1831. Beside Entomological Society ni dia punya kerja, ahli-ahli ni dia akan berkumpul dalam satu tempat dan mula berkongsi cerita tentang koleksi mereka. Tapi Naturalist Club ini lain berbanding dengan Entomological Society Club. Mereka mula buat ekspedisi keluar, mencari, macam buat member-member ahli kelab ini keluar ke hutan mencari insects bersama-sama, dan sometimes keluar daripada tempat asal mereka. Sampai ke China, sampai ke Jepun, begitu dia punya expedition dia. So inilah yang menyebabkan terwujudnya entomological ecotourism secara tidak sengaja pada waktu itu. So during that time, we can call it the era of entomological ecotourism, where people are very excited, very passionate about entomology, sampai mereka keluar daripada tempat asal mereka dan mengembara untuk kata orang appreciate the beauty of the insects and bugs and all. But what happened after the 1800? Then wujudlah kata orang ecotourism, wildlife tourism, adventure tourism after that, sehingga kan entomologi sudah lenyap dalam peta tourism. Okay, sebab dia adalah kecil kan, serangga kecil. So slowly the role of entomological ecotourism ni diambil alih sepenuhnya oleh ecotourism, nature tourism, wildlife tourism, adventure tourism, river tourism. So at the end of the day, dia hanya jadi sampingan sahaja. Okay. So why entomological ecotourism is actually very important? Because it gives an individual engagement, okay, on the entomological punya study, have a greater understanding of the insects. Sebab people nowadays, dia tak banyak tahu pasal insects, bugs and all, because dia tidak ada pendedahan begitu. Selalunya bila turis pergi satu kawasan pelancongan, dia akan jumpa gajah, dia akan jumpa hornbills, dia akan jumpa buaya. So bila dia jumpa all these big animals, big reptiles, they definitely have interpreter yang akan interpret and give information about the animals. Okay, so until at the end of the day, they neglected the mini creature that exists in the same ecosystem. Okay, so therefore entomological is very important actually for this entotourism in short, because it provide new knowledge for the tourists to understand better about this creepy crawlies world. And then it creating awareness about insects, especially about their role as environmental kingpins. Because people hanya tahu about greenhouse effects, water cycle, semua tu kan, sampai mereka tidak tahu bahawa these tiny creatures is also play a role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. Contohnya sebagai pollinators. Kalau tak ada pollinators, tiadalah kita punya makanan, tiadalah buah-buahan, begitu kan. So we need to give them some awareness through this kind of activities, iaitu entomological ecotourism. And then spreading conservation messages through and among ecotourists. Because through conservation messages, bila kita buat interpretation, just like what this photo shows. This photo is my master student from China. He was interpreting about apa itu? Honeybee kepada one of the ecotourists yang visited Tower Hills Park pada waktu itu. So when these people learn about, insects tourism, about these bees, what is happening in the ecosystem with these tiny creatures, word of mouth is spread. Word of mouth can be spread easily. Okay, so bila ecotourists, among ecotourists, and through ecotourists, their spread of mouth, semua information about insects can be disseminated. Okay, and then last but not least, to generate new ecotourism opportunities, definitely. With new, kata orang, new attraction, definitely dia akan create a new ecotourism opportunity and possibility for a new job for the local community living adjacent to the area. Now, before I proceed with the next slide, I would like everyone to get to engage with me lah, because I want to know, what do you think about insects? Okay, what do you think about insects? Do you like it? Do you think it's beautiful? Do you think it's ugly? Do you think it is annoying? Do you think it's interesting? Tell me. So I hope the audiences out there can be, interactively engage with me. Kalau tidak, nanti bila saya show saya punya Mentimeter, dia jadi kosong. Malulah saya kan, sudahlah kita live ni kan. So I hope to have some, results from the audiences. Tell me your feelings when I talk about creepy crawlies. What do you think about them? So you can go to, using your handphone, go to www.menti.com and use the code 60165650 to enter your answer. Only one answer. Thank you. So I might stop the sharing because I will open my Mentimeter punya slide. Oopsie. Let me share my Mentimeter punya slide. Great, thank you very much. We have one answers now. Dirty. How about the rest? Afraid. Interesting. Good. More. Belum lagi saya nampak something yang kata orang ni sekarang ni 2 versus 1. Maksud dia negatif versus 1 positif. So meaning to say masih ramai lagi yang feel that insects, this creepy crawlies is negative. Good. More please. Disgusting. Yes. Mari kita tengok kalau kita ada banyak lagi input dari semua orang. Scary. Yes, definitely. Fascinating. You see how this menti.com bikin is that it looks into mana-mana perkataan yang besar tu, saiz dia besar, itu menunjukkan ramai yang bagi jawapan sedemikian. Mana yang kecil tu maksud dia ada sikit je lah. Okay. We give few more time for the rest. This is very interesting. Disgusting, scary, yes. Interesting is interesting and fascinating have almost the same text size. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So interesting, afraid, scary, sometimes cute. Yes, there are sometimes species that are cute. Sometimes there are some species that are disgusting. Mind blowing, maybe because of the aura of the species itself. 30, amazing. Yes. Keep it coming. I will close this Mentimeter at 2:25. So we have 1 more minute to go for the rest of you who wants to share with me your thoughts about creepy crawlies. Underrated. Yeah. Amazing, cute. Afraid. Afraid also have the same size with interesting. Yes. Don't worry. Even though I myself in the entomological ecotourism research, and then my husband is an entomologist, but all our kids are scared and afraid of insects. So don't worry, we are in the same boat, my sons and daughter. Okay, good, interesting. So thank you everyone for your information. So basically, based on this, I've seen that there's a lot of people who are interested, who think that creepy crawlies is quite interesting. And I hope that this interest, after when I show you with my next slide, will create kata orang more interest, the passions to to study, to learn more, to know more about these tiny creatures that we live together in this world actually. Okay, so because they are everywhere. Thank you everyone for your important thoughts. Please keep on going to give me more to give me your answers, because after this benda ni saya tak akan close, saya cuma stop sharing saja, but please do continue to give me your thoughts about creepy crawlies adventures, and this will be a very interesting story to do research on. More research can be done because of from your input. Thank you so much. I will not stop this Mentimeter, whoever wants to, to give their thoughts, just continue, yeah? I will stop sharing and I will continue with my slide. Now, okay, this is my slide. Alamak, dia tak mau bergerak lah pula. Okay, wait. This is what happened when you have a very good Wi-Fi kan, but then your laptop kan quite old. Sekejap ya. Okay. Please continue to input your results. So basically, thank you very much for everyone for giving me your input on your thoughts about creepy crawlies adventure. But please continue to give answers so that I can have a really big pictures of what do you think about entomological ecotourism. Okay, so we have done a lot of research actually, okay, before COVID-19 about entomological ecotourism with my master students. We have here in the photo one of my master's tourism, Asparina, who already viva waiting for her to finish their punya thesis, and then I have one here from China, my international students, Gauler. He is now waiting for his next flight to go back to China. He finally graduated. So both of them have done a lot of good job to actually understand the personal meanings of insects among these international and local ecotourists. So we asked them, what do they think about creepy crawlies adventure, just like what I have done with you just now. So basically what I did is that I do the analysis and shows that these are their main preferences. it's almost similar to what you are actually giving me, the input. So mostly they like something that is beautiful, something that is unique, rare and interesting. You see, the word interesting also come up here with the international tourists. Okay, so what kind, when I ask them what kind of insects that they would prefer to see and they would willing to pay when they visit Sabah, a few answers came out. Okay, there are beetles, butterfly, dragonfly, and stick insects. So these are their preferences. Okay, so but for today, I will not only stick on. I will only stick those charismatic insects. So charismatic insects. What is actually charismatic insects? When we talk charismatic insects, charismatic ni something that macam karisma lah. Satu insects yang berkarisma. Bila orang cakap berkarisma, dia ada aura. Tapi aura insects ni, dia lebih kepada connection dia dengan manusia. So bila insects, dia ada connection dengan manusia. When they have pure connection with human will feel something, you know, something macam dia ada satu connection dengan insect. Contohlah kan, firefly. Dia ada satu, dia tahu berkenaan dengan firefly, kunang-kunang, kelip-kelip tu kan, because of dia punya ancestors punya bercerita pasal apa, roh-roh dia punya ancestors apa transform into beautiful lights called the fireflies. So these are one of the apa kata orang myth ataupun folklore yang diceritakan dari turun-temurun dan dia sangkut di hati kita. Bila dia sangkut di hati kita, we immediately recognize that species. So this is what we call charismatic insects, di mana insects yang ada perkaitan ya ataupun connection dengan manusia. So selalunya bila ada connection, baru kita mau pergi tengok. Tak ada connection, itu yang susah. Okay, itu yang susah kita nak connect. Macam mana kita nak buat connection manusia dengan contohnya laba-laba. Awal-awal kamu sudah jerit keluar, apa tidak mau ikut sebab dia laba-laba. Bagi kamu dia ada sesuatu yang menggerunkan, yang berbahaya. Okay, so this kind of connection is very important for us to determine what are the insects that are suitable to be promoted for tourism product. Okay, this is what I said earlier about connection, charismatic. Okay, haiwan-haiwan ataupun insects yang ada charismatic aura ni adalah sesuatu yang ada connection dia dengan manusia. For example, insects, okay, Japan. Okay, Japan punya culture. Dia punya culture, dia sudah lama berminat. Dia sudah ada lama minat terhadap insects collection, and in fact dia punya apa kata orang dia punya connection dengan insect ni sampai dibuat jadi satu apa adaptasi ataupun animation macam Pokemon begitu kan. So it's become something that is a norm among the culture of this community in Japan. Sampai ada yang jadikan insect sebagai pet. In fact dekat Japan ada juga kedai-kedai yang berjualan insects for children. So this is very important. So bila dia buat this kind of culture, these young children dari kecil lagi telah dididik untuk mencintai insects, untuk mengenali insects lebih dalam. Because if they want to rear, kalau dia nak jadikan insect itu sebagai pet, dia kena mendalami bagaimana behavior dia, apa makanan dia, bagaimana untuk elak dia mati. You see? So this will actually kata orang improve dia orang punya knowledge, create awareness about the importance of having insects in the ecosystem and in the human punya settlement, human punya inilah livelihood. Okay, so let's talk about Coleoptera. Coleoptera ini adalah kumpulan beetles dan weevils. Okay, saya tak akan perjelaskan apa beza dia, apa cara macam mana behavior dia, apa species dia. I will only talk about the charismatic insects dari aspek entomological ecotourism. Okay, if you want to know behavior dia macam manakah, dia ada berapa batang gigi kah, okay, atau macam mana dia tidur kah, itu you STEM Ambassador UMS kena jemputlah entomologis sebenar ya. Okay, saya ni entomologis jadi-jadian because my field of expertise is nature tourism. Okay, so Coleoptera adalah tergolong dalam kumpulan beetle. Okay, beetle and weaver. Okay, the name derived from the Greek words koleos, meaning sheet. Maksud dia tu yang dia punya apa nama dia tu? Belakang dia tu yang cover dia punya wings tu. Antera meaning wings. So maksud dia wings itu embedded dalam dia punya apa? Coleos itu, sheet itu. So that's why dia kena panggil Coleoptera punya family lah. Distinctive features is elytra, the hardening of the forewing. They live throughout the world except Antarctica but are more spacious in the tropic. So beetles ni boleh kita dapati di mana-mana saja dalam dunia ini. Okay, very senang. Dan dia ada pelbagai size, pelbagai warna. So very charismatic. Kenapa dia jadi charismatic? Because connection dia dengan pencinta-pencinta beetles ni seperti Jepun. Okay, mari kita tengok the next slide. Okay. Fireflies. Fireflies ni tergolong dalam kumpulan beetle tadi tu, Coleoptera. Dia daripada family Lampridae. So dia ada at least 7 species of pteroptics that can be found in Malaysia. Okay. Tapi dekat Sabah, dia ada 5 species yang kita boleh dapatilah dekat Sabah ni. Kita boleh pergi Klias, kita boleh pergi Western. In fact sekarang rasanya banyak tempat yang sudah dibuka dekat kawasan Sabah ini for fireflies watching tourism. So this is what I said. Only fireflies yang hanya boleh diketengahkan secara solitary sebagai entomological ecotourism. Okay, dia tidak memerlukan, dia tidak perlu di-embedded sebagai pelancongan sampingan. Kenapa? Because firefly, dia punya connection with human, dia punya charismatic itu sangat besar. Okay, sangat besar. In fact, dia punya population pun kira sangat, kata orang, boleh dijumpai dengan reliability sighting dia tu senang asalkan dia punya kawasan habitat tu masih lagi intact, masih berada dalam keadaan yang baguslah kan, tidak ada pollution semua tu, and dia selalunya in groups. Bila dia in groups banyak, dia flashing tu senang dan dia ada satu distinguished figure yang menyebabkan dia extraordinary powerful to stand alone as a firefly tourism itself. No need to kasih kahwin dia dengan any other pelancongan sampingan. Okay, so there are 7 species in Malaysia. In Sabah dia ada 5 lah. Okay, some species habitually congregate in trees in huge numbers while some other species fly solitary. Yang huge in numbers itu yang akan menjadikan satu fenomena entomological ecotourism yang sangat magical dan sangat menarik kepada pelancong. So these are some of the foto yang saya culik daripada slide saya punya husband. Okay, so these are Theraptex valida, Theraptex gelatina, Tarikh sessimilis. Okay. Kalau nak tahu dia punya beza antara di species, dia katalah, saya punya husband cakap, boleh tengok dekat belakang dia punya bahagian bawah tu, bahagian dia punya tempat dia mengeluarkan cahaya tu. Itulah yang akan tentukan dia punya species. Tapi kalau sebagai pelancong kan, kita ni tak pentingkan yang itu. Kita pentingkan kita punya kita punya feeling, kita punya perasaan semasa kita berada di kawasan pelancongan. Sama ada it gives you satisfaction, the experience is worth it or not with the money that you pay. Okay. So, dia itu yang saya katakan dia ada satu karakteristik yang menyebabkan dia boleh berjalan secara etis as an entomological ecotourism entity, iaitu bioluminescence, di mana dia ada luminous organ yang boleh keluarkan satu cahaya yellowish green. Okay, so yellowish green ni bila dia bercahaya ni selalunya it's for courting lah, for courting kan, dia involve exchange of flashing signal at dusk kan, and then lepas itu bila dia flashing tu nanti yang betina dah datanglah ke arah dia. Okay, so larva dan juga dia punya telur akan mempunyai cahaya yang sama pun bioluminescent juga. Okay, dia mengeluarkan cahaya juga. Okay, and then there are 2 types of flashing. Okay, there are 2 types of flashing. Sama satu dia synchronously, maksud dia bercahaya secara sinkronas ataupun ada satu lagi non-sinkronas. Dia tidak sinkronas lah, dia masuk dia pelan, lepas dia keluar, lambat sikit macam tu. So I will show you how it's synchronous bila dia flashing. Okay, nampak pokok ni kan? Kita tengok Tropika stinger where it's flash synchronously. You see? They keep on flashing. Okay, ini yang menyebabkan kata orang one of my tourist yang datang ke Firefly tourism site, dia rasa macam seperti seolah-olah mereka berada di satu carnival. Okay, satu mystical world, magical environment where this flashing of fireflies, bila dia flash begini macam Christmas party pula. Okay, so these are some of the flashing lah. This is synchronous lah. Tropika. And then this is cara dia non-synchronous. Maksud dia tidak secara sekata. Sekejap dia menyala, sekejap dia tidak. Dia tidak seperti yang sebelumnya, yang spesies yang sebelumnya iaitu Tropika. Okay, ini Tropika biar naik. Ini cara dia flashing. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, let me show you how magical the firefly tourism actually. Okay, kita tengok one of the firefly tourism sites yang quite famous di Malaysia. I hope you can hear the music lah. Moderator mungkin boleh kasih saya music sikit. Okay.
Kampung Kuangtan, once a humble little village, not unlike many during the early years. However, there was more to it. A strange congregation of lights not too far from the village, a place where millions of little green lights twinkled in the shadows of the night. Nothing evokes such surrealism like watching the silent, spectacular light show of these illuminating beetles. They're called kilip kilip, in translation, fireflies. During the day, they retreat into the tall grasses just behind the mangroves. As night falls, they move to the mangrove trees called pokok berembang, lining the banks to feed on the nectar from the leaves and to attract mates with their synchronized flashing. Spending an evening watching the fireflies is a nice journey on its own. Witness one of nature's wonders in Kampung Kuangtan. As your boat gently guides you down the river, you will be able to discover the answer to this ancient mystery of nature. Be sure to see the fireflies soon. Their numbers are dimming. It is unknown how long these bright beetles will continue to shine in the night at Kampung Kuangtan. Perhaps the colonies will find another place to inhabit, to continue their life cycles, somewhere where they can live in peace, where the fairy tale will live on forever. There are certain moments that have the power to melt the heart of even the most world-weary, jaded traveler. This is one of them. As night begins to fall in Kampung Kuangtan, your colorful wooden boat swishes through the Selangor River. It is one of those things that you must live to see, not only to be told about.
You see, this is the major concerns when we talk about fireflies tourism is that dia macam juga haiwan-haiwan kan, dia tidak statik berada di kawasan tersebut. Macam haiwan, dia akan buat migratory, dia ada migratory dia dan dia akan kembali semula after few months. But insects ni kan, apabila dia punya habitat sudah kata orang deforested ke, lost apa semua, so dia will move around. Bila dia move around, that particular site akan barren lah. Bermaksud dia tak ada lagi fireflies. Dan itulah yang merisaukan kita sebenarnya apabila there's no sustainability ataupun cara pengurusan yang baik to ensure the habitat of the firefly is still intact. So that's our main concern. Okay, when we talk about firefly, why firefly can be, kata orang, stand as it is as entomological ecotourism as compared to other species because of the charismatic aura that they have, di mana dia selalu dikaitkan dengan pelbagai mitos. Okay, pelbagai mitos, pelbagai folklores. Atau folklores ni maksud dia cerita-cerita dongeng. Cerita-cerita dongeng. So macam contohnya dekat Philippines ini, cerita dongeng berkenaan dengan seorang princess bernama Ali Tap-Tap. Okay, Ali Tap-Tap, di mana princess ini sebenarnya dia punya heart is cold as stone. But dia disuruh untuk kahwin. Okay, dia ni very beautiful, dia disuruh kahwin, tapi dia tak mau kahwin because dia punya heart is as cold as stone. There's no love in her heart. So what handsome macam manakah kamu, kaya macam mana pun kamu, memang dia tak akan kahwin. Okay, so ada satu kerajaan dekat sebelah, dia dapat tahu bahawa this princess is so beautiful. Biasalah kan cerita-cerita dongeng begini kan, asal nampak cantik saja datanglah berpusu-pusu orang mau kahwin dia. So datang mau kahwin dia, so tapi dia tak mau. So kerajaan tu kata kalau princess tu tak mau kahwin dengan dia, then dia akan buat war. Dia buat war. But at last the princess punya heart tetap stone cold. Okay, tetap tak ada love, tetap tak mau kahwin. So the father of the princess takut kejadian yang tidak diingini akan berlaku, peperangan berlaku. So dia paksa dengan cara ugut. Saya akan bunuh kamu sekiranya kamu tidak kahwin dengan orang ini, sebab kalau tidak peperangan kan berlaku, tapi dia tetap tidak mau kahwin. So at the end of the day, what the father did is that the father menggunakan dia punya sword, telah pukul kepala dia dan pecahlah dia punya the star on dia punya forehead itu. Pecahnya stars, the golden stars dekat forehead tu menjadi cebisan-cebisan kecil, and that's what they call it as the golden pieces of the flares of fireflies. Itu. Tapi pada waktu itu fireflies belum keluar lagi. So at the end of the day, what happened is that peperangan still berlaku in Philippines in total darkness. Apa yang terjadi pada total darkness tersebut, these cebisan-cebisan golden furies come and give some lights to these soldiers during the war. So it shows that Ali Tap-Tap punya spirit is there to help them, to guide them, to light them in the war. So itu satu cerita dongeng dari Filipina. And another cerita dongeng is from Taiwan. Okay, Taiwan ni China lah kan. So Taiwan yang diberi nama Ho Kim Ko. Ho Kim Ko ni adalah translation dia The Fiery Golden Maiden. And this is quite a very I don't know about you, but for me cerita-cerita dongeng yang telah terhasil daripada fireflies ini kan, yang terkait dengan fireflies ni selalunya adalah cerita-cerita yang sedih. Okay, cerita-cerita sedih. I think that's fit into the, kata orang, the ecosystem itself, where bila kita journey kita untuk melihat fireflies dalam keadaan yang malam, gelap, sunyi, kan dia mengeluarkan satu aura kesedihan, sama seperti mitos-mitos ataupun dongeng-dongeng yang diceritakan oleh orang daripada negara Philippines dan Taiwan. So Taiwan ini dia punya cerita amat menyayat hati, di mana adik-beradik perempuan, the little sister, it's very, apa kata orang, tak ada sabar sebab the father balik lewat daripada kerja, sangat-sangat lewat. So adik tak sabar, risau. So adik dia keluar dalam kegelapan malam itu untuk mencari dia punya father. And then kakak dia yang risau keselamatan adiknya mengejar-ngejar adik dia di malam yang sangat gelap itu, mengejar. So at the end of the day, adik dia berjumpa dengan the father, but then the kakak tak kena jumpa. So adik dia dengan penuh rasa sedih dan pilu telah memanjatkan doa kepada Tuhannya dan memohon agar Tuhan berikan satu signal signal untuk supaya dia boleh cari kakak dia. So the signal came as in the flash of fireflies. And fireflies came and then buat satu macam satu jalan lah kan untuk dia follow. So she follow the route made by the fireflies and there she saw dia punya kata orang lifeless body of the sister. Di mana sister dia masa cuba kejar dia, kaki dia tersadung dan tenggelam dan termasuk ke dalam sungai dan lemas di situ. So that's the story of Ho Kim Ko about the fireflies. While in Japan, dia punya penceritaan pun lebih kurang sedih jugalah. When if I don't know if you have ever tengok this movie, this animation called Grave of the Fireflies. Ini cerita pasal perang lah, perang dunia pada waktu itu, di mana fireflies came as a spirit of those people who already left because of the war. Okay, so these are the connection that making firefly tourism a big hit in entomological ecotourism because dia ada connection dan dia ada aura magical di situ. Okay, that's spiritual. So let's move on to the next kata orang group or family under the beetle, Coleoptera. Family Cincinidae. Okay, they are predators. Boleh nampak pun dia predators kalau kamu tengok dia punya mandible tu kan, dia punya mulut tu ada macam banyak besar dia punya gigi-gigi tu. So it had large eyes. Kalau tengok second thought pun macam Transformers pun ada. They can be seen running swiftly near sandy river banks. Okay, can be seen. So sometimes yang kita tengok kan, kenapa saya selalu tengok those yang macam coklat-coklat saja, tak pernah pula saya nampak yang shining hijau begini. So therefore kita mesti tengok betul-betul lah. Okay, kita mesti pergi tempat dia baru kita boleh nampak. So these are some of the very interesting under the group the family Cincinidae of dia punya different karakteristik dia punya different size, dia punya different of coloration. These are making this kata orang group yang menyebabkan ramai orang suka tengok. Okay, suka tengok dia, suka cari dia because of dia punya interesting coloration. Okay, so these are the one that are quite common. Cincindela aurulenta. It's a blue spotted tiger beetle, or also known as the golden spotted tiger beetle. Okay, one of the commonest beetle yang kita boleh tengok lah, yang kita boleh jumpa. Okay, mostly found running on sandy banks of streams. So kalau kita pergi tepi-tepi river tu, yang ada sandy area tu, pergi tengok dia. Memang dia ada dekat situ. Okay, females are quite similar to the males, but abdomen broaden and usually lengthen lah. Maksudnya dia punya females tu lebih besar lah, broad sikit. Adults are cuprous greenish blue with 3 yellow spots on the edge of each electron. Prey on other insects. So dia ni predators. Like I said, because of daripada mulut dia sendiri pun kita boleh nampak bahawa dia adalah predators. Dia makan other insects. Okay. Now let's see another family. This is very interesting family, quite famous juga among the Japanese, especially the children. Dia orang suka pelihara dia ni. Family Lucanidae, stag beetle, pinching bugs. Yang nampak dia punya macam tanduk tu kan, dia kena panggil pinching bugs because dia punya ni. So these are the characteristic that kata orang ignites the ignites the passions of the tourists to look for this kind of beetles lah. Okay, dia ada mandibles dia, kalau male selalunya mandibles dia lebih besar. Okay, dan kalau female pula dia tidak ada that big mandibles lah. Yang mandibles tu yang macam kamu nampak macam dia punya tanduk tu, that's what we call mandible. So these are some of the species ataupun dia punya dia punya size, different size and coloration around the world lah, kita boleh tengok. So inilah yang menyebabkan ramai orang suka pelihara dia jadi pet. Okay, so kadang bila dia jadi pet, dia akan dijaga dengan betul, we study them more, so it's good actually. Okay, because we educate them about the importance of these beetles. Okay, these are one of the yang selalu kita jumpa lah kalau kita masuk hutan. Rasanya kalau kita dekat rumah-rumah, dekat kampung-kampung tinggal pun ada juga selalu nampak. This is Hexatrius mandibularis, forkhorn stag beetle, macam fork, macam garpu. Okay, so this beetle has a dull, dark, black, reddish body. Oh, nampak macam tapi ada reddish juga sikit. Okay, so dia selalunya dia ni dia consume tree juice lah. Pokok-pokok pun ada juice tu juga. So dia selalu makan juice dekat situ. So this interest people lah because of dia punya size, dia nampak macam strong, okay, dan dia punya connection with this animation Pokemon semua tu. Okay, these scarab beetles, dung beetles and shepherd's ini very interesting species, very interesting family. Okay, this family is from Scarabidae. Scarab kan, dung beetle, dia gulung-gulung tai tu. Kalau kamu tengok tu yang gulung bola-bola gulung itu, sebenarnya itu adalah najis. Okay, najis. Okay, so many are found dwelling in the debris of decaying trees, flowering plants, plants root and carrion. Carrion ni bangkai lah. Okay, so even though mereka ini dikira macam kotor, pengotor kan, tapi sebenarnya cantik, cantik dia ni. And dia ada connection tau sebenarnya dengan human. Okay, so sebelum saya ceritakan dia punya connection dengan human, I'll show you some photos of this interesting Scarabidae family. Okay, if you want to learn more about dia punya species, individual species, what dia punya different doing, apa dia punya different characteristic, then you need to invite the entomologist to give you more apa kata orang insight about this Scarabidae. Okay, so let me talk about dia punya charismatic aura. Okay, you see this beetle kan? I'm always bila saya tengok this photo kan, I always remember there's a saying that I don't know the saying is come from the Scarabidae, this dung beetle itself ke atau macam mana, but there's one statement saying that I eat dung, okay, I eat dung, I roll with dung, but the human worship me. Okay, but the human worship me. So they are human that worship dung beetles sebenarnya, and this is part of the Egyptian culture. Okay, dia terkait dengan Egyptian culture, mythology, and dia punya hieroglyphics. Okay, so these dung beetles ni kan, kenapa dia diterapkan, kenapa dia jadi salah satu part of Egyptians punya culture, because the Egyptians nampak dia something that is unique and similar. Ada connection dengan dia punya god yang diberi nama god Khepri. Dia ada satu god, kan Egyptian punya culture, dia ada macam-macam god. So one of the god is known as god Khepri. Okay, god Khepri ni dia orang nampak dia macam this beetle ni kan, dia macam apa, bila dia roll dia punya najis itu kan, nampak seolah-olah macam the sun ball, the sun rolling around dia punya galaxy itu kan, so it's roll like the sun kan, in a similar manner, and therefore portray the god itself, because Egyptian kan dia percaya bahawa the god is from the sun. Okay, therefore they are known as the sun god. So one of the sun god punya nama is god Khepri. Okay, so the rolling of the ball itself, bila dia roll, bentuk dia macam sun. Itu yang mereka kaitkan dia macam god Khepri. And then bila dia, because for your information kan, dia buat bola-bola daripada najis tu sebenarnya untuk letak telur dia di dalam. Bila telur dia menetas, anak dia ada free food. So anak dia akan keluar sendiri daripada bola tai tersebut lah kan. So when this people see that happen, they see something else. Okay, they see something else. They see that dia macam apa, rejuvenation, apa kata orang tu, life after death. Okay, renewable of the death. Macam dia nampak macam bahawa this dung beetle ya membawa satu nyawa baru, satu kehidupan baru apabila dia keluar daripada that sun ball itu. So therefore dia telah dijadikan sebagai salah satu serangga yang paling penting dalam Egyptian culture. Dan kalau kamu pergi satu hari, kalau kamu dapat pergi ke Egypt kan, kamu tengok dekat situ dia ada banyak monumen-monumen dia yang ada kaitannya dengan dung beetle. So they actually worship this dung beetle because for them this scarabs is dia ada banyak-banyak simbol dia, and the symbol, some of the symbol we can associate it with the never ending life cycle. Maksud dia daripada bola tersebut keluarlah apa nama dia tu X, and then dia H, and the process is repeating all over again. So it shows that the never ending life cycle. And it also means symbolize the renewable of the day, and then life after death, immortality, sebab dia never ending life cycle kan. So immortality, resurrection, transformation, creation, and protection. This is what the Egyptian culture thinks about dung beetle. So jangan main-main dah. Dung beetle is very important, walaupun kerja dia membuat bola-bola najis tersebut. So you can see some of the photo here showing how important the dung beetle is in the Egyptian culture. In fact, the god Khafre sendiri, lukisan dia kalau kita tengok, dia punya muka dia adalah muka the dung beetle. Okay. Now, this is another very apa kata orang charismatic insects known as Calcosoma mollencapi, three-horned beetle. Okay, it's commonly found in mountainous region, endemic to Borneo. Kita ada ni, very endemic to Borneo, tak ada tempat lain lagi. Okay, the elytra, different from the one yang fork horn itu kan. These three horn ini, dia punya elytra glossy, kau nampak very glossy, licin, greenish black. Yang satu tu, yang stag beetle tu dia reddish black kan. So this is kata orang greenish black. Some males have projection greatly reduced in size. Females do not have this projection. So females dia tak ada projection begitulah. Okay. So dia very important. So you can see sampai dia punya famous, dia punya aura ni, dia punya karakteristik ni yang menyebabkan ramai orang suka untuk pelihara dia jadi pet, and sometimes because import dan export pun berlaku ni disebabkan oleh these insects. And there's another insect that is of interest, is that from the family Chrysomelidae. The leaf beetles and the tortoise beetle. Tortoise beetle. Okay, from the family Chrysomelidae. So most species of this family, adults and larvae, feed on leaves. Typically, these beetles have a superb metallic sheens on the elytra with a very small head which can sink under the prothorax. Therefore, dia dipanggil inilah tortoise beetles. Macam rupa dia macam kura-kura. Okay, kura-kura. They exhibit great diversity in color and shape, as you can see from the photos here. Bila kita disturb dia, kalau selalunya dia dekat daun-daun tu kan, kalau kita disturb dia, dia akan suddenly macam pura-pura mati tau. Dia kasih keraskan kejung badan kaki dia, then dia terus drop, fall to the ground. Siapa yang pernah main tu masa kecil-kecil, saya selalu jumpa ni leaf beetle yang warna kuning. Tak tahu lah leaf beetle kan itu, warna kuning, dia ada debu-debu dekat belakang dia tu. Tak tahu leaf beetle kan tu. Jadi bila saya sentuh dia, dia terus kejung dan dia terus fall down to the ground. Okay, so this also one of the yang making kata orang another interesting beetles yang can be promoted, but itulah macam like I said, it's very tiny, it's very minute. So interpretation, tour guide diperlukan apabila kita hendak mempromosikan this kind of insects. Okay. So these are some of the leaf beetle and tortoise beetle in the world. Pelbagai dia punya coloration. And this is also one of the interesting species that can be promoted as in terms juga ecotourism. Phasmatodea ataupun dikenali sebagai stick and leaf insect. Okay, in Greek word phasma dikenali sebagai phantom. Bila kita cakap pasal phantom, maksud dia sejenis spesies ataupun sejenis kumpulan serangga yang boleh menyamar ikut dia punya habitat lah. Okay, ada yang jadi daun, ada yang jadi ranting. Okay, so bila dekat hutan ke pergi mana-mana, jangan pula terpijak mereka, kena hati-hati dan tengoklah keadaan mereka. Oops, sebelum itu. So they are terrestrial, nocturnal, phytophagous. Phytophagous maksud dia makan plants lah. Insects found in nearly all temperate and tropical ecosystem. They display varying degrees of brachytery, very reduced wings, meaning to say some of them are winged, some of them are wingless. Okay, The males are smaller and more slender than the female. Selalunya female akan dia ranting yang tebal lah, ranting yang tebal, itu selalunya female. Ranting yang kecil-kecil itu adalah jantannya. Okay, so let's play some games. Tapi saya tak tahu macam mana kita boleh interact ni ya. So never mind. Tell me, berapa banyak yang kita boleh tengok dekat sini? Berapa banyak phasmatodea ataupun leaf and stick insects yang kamu boleh jumpa dekat screen sini? Because we're in the live kan, kita bukan dalam satu tempat yang sama. So let me show you. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini kan dia punya screen, oh nampak macam daun-daun saja kan. Daun, ada yang daun mati, ada yang daun lama, daun yang kuning tu kan. So tapi sebenarnya dia tersembunyi a few apa kata orang interesting leaf insects dekat situ. So mari kita tengok di mana mereka. There you go. So how many leaf insect that we can found here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ekor ada di atas pokok tu. Okay, so it's very interesting, isn't it? Dalam kita tengah berjalan-jalan, we never know that we can actually bump into these fascinating insects in the forest. Okay. Now, last but not least, the group Lepidoptera, butterfly and moth. Kita lepis, Lepidoptera kan namanya. Lepis meaning scale. Dia ada scaly punya macam bersisik begitu. Theron is wings. So scaly wings, macam ada wings yang bersisik. So these wings yang bersisik ni yang covered with microscopic scales give them the patterns and vivid coloration to the wing. Itu dia yang menyebabkan berikan coloration dan juga bentuk kepada wings butterfly and moth tersebut. So butterfly and moth ni dia ada 2 groups under the Lepidoptera, like butterflies and moth lah kan. Tetapi dalam secara saintifik dia, butterfly itu Rhophalocera atau dikenali sebagai kupu-kupu. Kita sudah tukaran nama dia, bukan rama-rama lagi. Okay, butterfly is kupu-kupu and then we have Heterocera, moth dikenali sebagai rama-rama. Okay, what are the difference between butterfly and moth? Butterfly is selalunya yang brightly colored, while moth selalunya dull color dia. Very dull. Kalau bukan brown, dia putih. Yang very dull punya itu. Kalau dia hijau pun, hijau yang dull. Yang light hijau. But butterfly selalunya dia punya colors are very bright. Has a thin body. Ini macam si versus kurus dan gemuk lah. So moth has a thick body. And then active during the day is usually butterfly. Active during the night is the moth. Wing rest together upright. Dia akan, bila dia rest, dia akan tutup dia punya wings, while the moth dia akan buka wings dia bila dia rest. Okay, straight smooth antenna with bulbs at the end. Dia punya antena, boleh nampak antena dia straight, ada bulbs di hujung, while moth dia punya antena selalunya feathery, ada bulu-bulu. Okay, creates a chrysalis in the pupa stage, while moth create cocoon in the pupa stage. Bila kita jalan-jalan, nampak cocoon, itu selalunya adalah moth. Yang bukan cocoon adalah butterfly. So what's the similarity between the both? Both are insects with 6 legs, begin life as an egg, then hatch into a larvae or caterpillar, have a head, thorax and abdomen. These are only the 3 similarities lah dengan mereka ini. Okay, so jangan kata orang jangan termix up antara butterflies and moth. So let's see some of the the monarch butterfly, one of the kata orang famous world butterfly punya tourism. So macam dekat Mexico ni, dia boleh buat butterfly tourism because the monarch butterfly itself sentiasa ada di situ. Okay, dan dia ada banyak. While kita punya butterfly di sini, kita tak jumpa dia. Okay, kita jarang dapat nampak sekumpulan rama-rama begitu banyak sehingga boleh dijadikan sebagai satu fenomena seperti monarch butterfly. Okay, so we are not ready yet for butterfly tourism dekat Sabah because we are belum lagi jadi kita punya population of butterfly ataupun habitat dia sendiri pun sangat susah untuk diwujudkan that this kind of kata orang fenomena lah. Tidak seperti yang berlaku dekat Mexico, the monarch butterfly, where this butterfly dia stay di situ and only migrate bila season berubah. Okay, let's see this beautiful enchanting monarch butterfly in Mexico. Salah tekan.
The largest insect migration in the world ends each year in Michoacan, Mexico. Millions of monarch butterflies travel from across the US and Canada, some flying close to 3,000 miles to pass the cold months in the towering trees of this beautiful forest.
Okay, so that's how beautiful the monarch butterfly punya, fenomena sebenarnya. Okay, dia ada satu fenomena yang boleh dikatakan sebagai satu entomological ecotourism yang boleh kita ketengahkan. Okay, berbanding dengan what is happening here in Sabah is that we don't have this kind of habitat, this kind of phenomena that can be promoted as a one entity ataupun satu entity entomologism. So we have to embedded dia. Kalau kita nak promote butterfly tourism, we need to embedded dia dengan satu package pelancongan yang lain. Sebab we cannot kata orang promote dia sebegitu macam seperti yang berlaku dekat Mexico. Okay, so now let me show you some of the very interesting entomological ecotourism site yang kita boleh lawati satu hari nanti kan. Okay, so macam dekat New Zealand ni, they have this glowworm di mana this is not insects lah kan, tapi dia creepy crawlies adventures. So glowworms ada satu ulat ni kan dari dalam cave, dia ada bioluminescence, so it create a spectacular views inside the cave in New Zealand. And then we have in Malaysia, of course, the fireflies in Malaysia. And then we have the insects museum in Siam, Thailand. And then we have also natural, kata orang, insects museum dekat Japan, because they are very passionate about insects sampai it's part of their culture, so they have their own insects museum dekat Japan. And dekat Hapyeong village juga dia ada satu museum insects dekat Korea. And then we have one insects museum in China as well. And here the Mexico, the monarch butterfly phenomena. And then of course dekat Florida, US, the fireflies. Okay, difference from our fireflies, the US punya fireflies, dia more dekat dalam forest, okay, instead of kita punya dekat wetlands. So like I said before I end my talk today, let me show you why is it very important to promote insects as part of the insects develop entomological ecotourism, because we also promote education, awareness, so that people recognize these tiny creatures. So macam yang saya kata, these tiny creatures will only interest people if there's a tour guide ataupun there's a nature interpreter together with them, to explain to them, to educate them, to create awareness. Without nature interpretation as well as tour guide to assist them under this entomological ecotourism, people will just simply pergi begitu sahaja, tak pun tengok, tak pun appreciate. So let me show you one of my students who do the interpretations for the international tourists bila dia berada dekat Tawau Hills Park. Sikit sajalah, tak banyak.
Poly, yes, because poly means many.
So he's actually explaining about the ants, polyrakis ants.
So you can see from here. So these ants, they are polyrakis. Yeah, you can see from its back. See the hook is like fish hook on its back. Yeah. But they don't attack people. They are just like run away from the people. And its nest is up on the tree.
Not on the ground, on the tree.
On the tree.
See how important the messages, the information about insects to educate ecotourists, because ecotourists ni dia kata orang dia tak faham. Okay, dia tak faham, dia tak tahu. So therefore interpretation is very important
I've seen
to
down the hook.
educate
Yes.
tourists. Ecological ecotourism.
Yeah. You have to look at it from the.
Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you very much to Dr. Fiffy Hanisdah. It was a very interesting and fun topic, full of weird and fun facts. We invite for some questions to be answered by our guest speaker today that was sent to us during the presentation. So the first question is, wait a moment, let me find it on the book chat in YouTube. Okay, this question is from M. Arif. His question is, adakah kumbang jenis spesies boleh membahayakan manusia seperti kesihatan dan lain-lain? Serta,
Apa dia? Boleh
apakah
repeat?
kebaikan kumbang spesies?
Kebaikan dia. So actually ramai orang yang tidak tahu kebaikan kumbang ni. So dia sebenarnya ada yang kata orang jadi pollinators juga. So it plays roles under the ecological ecosystem services. So tidaklah sampai kepada kesihatan lah. So dia more on the ecological ecosystem. Okay, kumbang-kumbang ni. So macam banyaklah kumbang, dung beetle tu kumbang juga kan. So kumbang ini dia tolong kita menguraikan bangkai-bangkai, menguraikan tanah apa semua. So these are part of dia punya kata orang importance role in the ecological ecosystem services.
Okay, another question is from Sulaiman. Does artificial light such as street light affect firefly?
Yes, definitely. Dia akan affect tu. Selalunya behavior yang macam selalu kalau kita pergi firefly tourism site kan, kadang-kadang kita nampak ada orang yang memanggil fireflies guna dia punya flashlight. So firefly akan pergi ke arah mereka itu. So bila pergi ke arah mereka tu, dia akan feel exhausted, dia penat. So bila dia penat, mating will not happen and they will just die. Okay, so firefly ni dia ni kata orang dia hanya hidup untuk mating saja supaya dia punya population ini kan. So bila dia the time untuk dia mate, dia akan flash the light. So bila dia ingat dia kena panggil ada satu macam saingan dia punya pesaing, of course dia akan ke sana untuk lagi flash dia punya light. So bila dia begitu rupanya is kata orang tipu saja. So dia akan jadi penat, dia sudah guna banyak energi dia. Bila dia sudah guna banyak energi dia akan mati begitu saja. So artificial light ni sebenarnya akan mengganggu dia punya mating tu for the population.
Okay, another one is from Suganti Yogeswaran. What about bees? Since the population of the bees, specifically honeybee, is declining, is there any measure we can take?
Of course, kalau kita tengok Oh ya, okay. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini kan keadaan honeybees, yes, they are declining. Very true, they are declining. Kenapa dia declining? Because of the high usage of pesticide, okay, insecticide, semua oleh this agro industry. So therefore, bila kita sudah terlalu banyak guna pesticide dan insecticide, this honeybee semua ni kan tidak akan berada dekat situ. Dia akan keluar. Dia akan sometimes bila dia sudah tidak dapat makan, cari makanan dia, definitely dia akan die off. So one way of another that we can help to increase the declining population ni kan is that stop using insecticide and pesticide. So go for agro ataupun organic punya penanaman. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's the last question.
Thank you.
Let's see,
Kalau
let's see if I can find another one. Nope, that's the last question, I think. So we hope you all enjoyed this amazing and interesting presentation by our wonderful speaker today. The link for registration and e-certificate is now being shared. Please fill in your details and answer the simple feedback questionnaire. All students will receive a certificate and STP point for UMS student only.
thank you.
Okay, thank you again, Doctor, for answering those questions and for the amazing presentation. Thank you also to all the audience today for your participation. We look forward to seeing you in the next 10 speaker series. It was a pleasure to have all of you with us. With this, we conclude the webinar. Thank you and see you again.
Thank you. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Jing, saya telah send ke chat di YouTube. Sila klik link tersebut untuk soal selidik sedikit. Saya repeat sekali lagi, link untuk link peserta saya telah copy paste ke chat di YouTube. Sila cek chat YouTube sekarang. Kalau tidak dapat jumpa link, sila pergi ke akaun Facebook Usain sama cari poster untuk aktiviti ini sama saya akan copy paste link tersebut di komen bawah poster tersebut. Ini adalah webpage Yusan UMS. Di bawah poster tersebut, kamu akan dapat jumpa link. Ada 2 link, satu untuk pelajar sekolah, satu untuk pelajar UMS. Oke, ini saja sampai sini saja program kita. Terima kasih untuk menonton program speaker ini yang telah dimoderate oleh saya dan telah dibentangkan oleh guest speaker kita Dr. Fiffy. Dr. Fiffy. Sekian, kita jumpa. Sekian, terima kasih.